What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be building a massive wall of backing vocals. If you ever wanted to create that massive, almost gospel sounding backing vocal section that some artists like Charlie Puth implement really well in their productions, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing a beginner's tutorial on how you can achieve that. We're going to be recording some basic vocals in, and we're going to be stacking them, we're going to be mixing them and making them sound as big as they can be. So before we get into this video guys, hit that subscribe button, as it is the best way to support the channel and any future videos I do. And if you enjoy music production tutorials, or maybe you're a beginner, intermediate, or even if you're an advanced music producer who might feel like they'll learn something more from watching these sort of videos, hit that subscribe button and I will do my best to supply you with that content. But anyway, let's get into the video. So today we're going to be laying some oohs on top of each other. I'm going to be doing it from the chord of C. So if I go over to my keyboard here and I play a C chord, we know there are loads of different notes in that key. Now what we want to achieve from the backing vocal is that really nice resonant sound of all the vocals harmonizing really nice with each other, but we want it to sound big. We don't just want to record the triad that makes up a C chord, we want to go further than that. So what we're going to do is jump into Logic right now and record some vocals. Okay, so here we go. We're in Logic. I have my electric piano up here just so I can reference the chords. What we want to do now is just start recording in some vocals, starting with this C. Ooh. Okay, so that was a little bit shaky, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to be coming to that later in the video. All we're going to do now is we're going to repeat that a couple more times. Ooh, ooh. One more for luck. Ooh. So now we've got 4 of them. We want to go to the next one. So we're going to call this 1 because this is the first, the root note, we'll call it. Now we'll do the second one up. Ooh, ooh. So we're going to do this one next. Ooh. So now at this point you really get the idea and you might be bored of saying it. So I am just going to repeat this up until up to there. So I'm going to keep recording and I'll see you after I've done that. Okay, so we have now got a massive stack of 23 vocals. I did skip a few of the quadruples that I was doing just to save time. So this is what we have. Now already that sounds pretty big, but there are ways now that we can make this even bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of them and we're going to hit Command Shift and D, create a track stack summing. And this is going to be our, we'll call it vocal wall. And what we are going to do is firstly, we're going to tidy up a bit more. I told you there was some wobbly parts. So just using Logic stock plugins, we went through the key of C. So we're just going to put C major in. And because we're doing those, we're going to turn that auto-tune up a lot. Remember, these are going to be in the background. So there's going to be a lot more subtleties and the auto-tune isn't going to stick out as much. So that already cleans it up a lot more. Next, we're going to go into spreading them. And we're actually going to double these again to create 46 layers. Now we're going to do this by using sample delay. Now what sample delay is, I'll bring it up for you now. Basically what it does is it splits the signal into 2 and plays the same sound of both of your ears, left and right, but depending on where you set it, it sets one of them signals to be delayed by milliseconds. Now what that does is eliminate any phase issues, so there's no clashing, none of the sounds cancel each other out and create a weird modulated effect. It creates the effect that you have the same signal twice, and because there's literally milliseconds in it, it can be really hard for our ears to distinguish which comes first, left or right. The only way we know is there is a slight bias making it sound louder on one side. That is the side that hasn't been delayed. So what we're going to do is we're going to delay this to the right. Now I'll quickly play you this by itself to see what it sounds like. At this point I do recommend you have speakers or headphones on, but as you can hear it's now out to the sides. Let me play it in mono and then with the sample delay again. Now, technically, that means we've now got the same signal twice coming out of both ears. So what would happen if we put this sample delay on every single one of them tracks? Let's find out. And we do have to alternate which ones delay left and right. Otherwise, there will be a bias clearly to one of the sides, whichever we set the delay to. So, again, every 4th one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every second one I'm going to put as right. So this is getting delayed to the right on every single one of them. Just like that. There you go. And now I'm going to go through again, just make sure it delayed to the left. Now we're going to put this one through. Yeah. like this. I'm so excited for you to hear. Okay, so this is before, and this is with the sample delay. They're now out to the sides and mix, which from a mix point of view means the main vocal can now sit right down the middle and isn't drowned out by the backing vocals anymore, which makes these vocals a lot easier to mix in with the main vocal. And we've now theoretically made the sound even bigger. Now there's one thing we can do now. It sounds a little bit boxy and muddy in places, so we're now going to go to the stage of EQing and compressing. Now, there's a lot going on here, and because of what is recorded, we're not going to do too much compression. We're going to do a classic vocal compressor. So we're going to use this compressor here because it's quite clean. It's a Platinum Digital, and we're going to put a 4:1 ratio, which is very standard in pop vocals. We're going to put the attack up a little bit to 10 milliseconds, and then we're going to do a slight threshold. Okay, it flowed just a bit over, but that will do. You get the idea. And now we're going to put an EQ on. Now we want these vocals to be really bright. We want them to be really nice and clean. We want to do a quick bit of basic vocal EQing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find the boxy sound to get rid of, which I don't like. And that will mean isolating with a notch filter like I'm doing here. So if we now go hunting for that boxy frequency, it's going to be between 200 to 800 hertz. And we want to get rid of that. So let's put this on loop and find it. As you can hear, that just makes it a little bit more cleaner, which will mean a lot easier listening experience on all type of things that you listen to music out of. I've forgot the word for output audio and stuff like that. Next, we're going to do a low cut, just get rid of them lower frequencies that we can't hear. If we don't need it, get rid of it. And then we're going to do a little high shelf. Just like that. And then the last thing we need to do is put a reverb on. Now, most time I'd say put your reverb into a bus, but we really want to bring across the gospelness of this massive layered vocal. So I'm going to put straight into the reverb for the sake of this video. We use the Space Designer, and I'm going to pick a big hall that we can put it into. Now, one thing I want to remember is because we are putting this straight into here, we do want to turn the dry up to 100% so the vocals are coming through, but we're going to put them into a large hall. Dream hall, that sounds really nice. Let's go with that. And then we're just going to turn the wet up until we're satisfied. Quickly go on the EQ. I'm just going to roll off some of the low end and a little bit of the high end so it sounds a little bit more clean. Let's see what we got. And then let's watch that roll off so we can know. Nice. Let's roll off a little bit more as well. Because we got the backing vocal doing most of the lows, we don't need the lows of the reverb. And then one last technique we can use to make it even thicker is tape delay. Create a little bit of delay, a little bit of movement in the vocal, because obviously you're going to get that delay coming through, so you're going to hear everything twice. It adds a little bit more of harmonic texture to it. We'll create the spread as well, and let's see what this sounds like if we turn the reverb up, but we're going to keep it really subtle and in the low frequencies. And now we have a massive wall of sound. And the last thing that we need to do for these oohs is a little bit of pitch flexing and the timing. So what we'll do is we'll go on our pitch flex here and we're going to select everything. Now, there's a really quick way we can do this. So we're going to go on flex pitch, because then that analyzes all the transients and like every detail in the vocal. As you see, it's getting to work there. Now we're going to switch it to monophonic. And then we're going to go up to this I up here and hit quantize and go to 1/8. Now that is going to slap all of the vocals in time at the start. So that tightens that up. And then we're going to do one more thing. We are going to go onto our flex pitch, bring these up, and we're just going to turn the vibrato down on these just a little bit, because the auto-tune is going to be doing its part to get it in tune, and we want this to sound as harmonically accurate as possible. Taking a little bit of the vibrato out is going to help us a lot. And then let's listen to the finished thing.